D'Angelo? Should he be in today?
Not sure. Find out after the morning skate.
You mentioned yesterday that you're going to see Urs in the lineup. Do you know kind of what you're thinking in terms of who might come out?
He'll play.
D'Angelo is, even if...
Not sure who's coming out, but he'll play.
Carter, is that for you guys?
Yes.
John, how important will the start be for you guys tonight? I know the start's probably always important, but this Islanders team really knows how to play in the third period, so how important will that start be?
Yeah, the start in the Island, it wasn't good. Our starts, I wouldn't say all of them, we end up behind. I'm not saying all the starts have been bad this year, but we just can't score the first goal. But tonight's an important start for us. Back home, it's against the same team we played against. They tried to blitz us in the Island. Big part of our meeting was about that, so hopefully we get a good one.
What are you looking to see from Igor Zamula coming back in the lineup?
Do some of the good things that he's done as far as moving the puck, seeing the ice. The reason why he needs to play is for him to work on his reads, and you can't get that done in practice. Those are game situations, and those are the things that there needs to be improvement. And the only way he's going to improve is through experiences. So yeah, I think an important part with Z is starting the game. I think there's been some things down in the minors where he wades himself into the game. That's an important thing from him tonight, to be ready to go right away and to get involved right away. Does some really good things, Charlie, but has a lot of things to work on, and we're going to play him and see if we can iron some of those things out.
Is that a mindset you can change with a player when you say he likes to wade into games? Is that something that either he has to fix on his own, or is that something that you guys can help him?
Both. I think we need to prod him and show him and teach him. But it is a mental. It's a mental thing. Sometimes teams, not just players, but teams themselves, just see how the game's going to be played. Eventually, we're trying to get to the philosophy that we want to set the tone of the game, to inflict and not counterpunch on how the game's going to be played. With Z, as a young guy, that's something he needs to learn, and it doesn't surprise me. Happens with a lot of young players. Might be a little bit of nervousness. Who knows? But it's certainly a mental thing.
You mentioned yesterday that you feel like he handles some situations well. You just said that you feel like he sees the ice well. I guess especially for someone at his point in his development, where do you feel like he has shown the most to you?
Where the positives are?
Yeah.
Moving the puck and seeing the ice. I think that's something that really attracts ourselves to him. Is we feel he might have the ability to get us out of our end zone and make some plays. And on the other side, without the puck, that's his weakness as far as making reads. Such a hard position to play as far as positioning. So those are the things he's going to learn, and it's to be expected that he struggles with them.
All your defensemen have different characteristics, so I guess when you think about them, how do you pair them with Igor to bring out different parts of his game?
Yeah, it depends on who we're playing. It depends what the lines are we're playing against, which team we're playing against. I think that's ever flowing in our game right now with a lot of our guys, because we just really haven't had a full set lineup of what we think we are. So those are calls made during the game, but part of pairing D together and who you play against is dictated off the team you're playing against.
John, you said Kevin Hayes hasn't been great in some of his coverages, and that's why he's moved to the wing right now. How often have you gone over that with him, or should he just know the message by seeing, hey, I'm on wing and I'm not doing my job there?
You know, Kevin, he knows. Kevin's trying. This isn't a player that's stubborn. He cares and is trying to be the best he can be. I think he has bad habits. I think and it's not just from 1 year, 2 years. It's probably throughout his career. It's not foreign to offensive people for them to struggle defensively. We just don't have the firepower to overcome some of those things, so we're asking him to change a little bit and concentrate a little bit on that. And he's concentrating at it. Still makes mistakes, but a lot of our other guys do too. So we're going to continue working with him. I'm trying to take a little pressure off for him because we need his damn offense. And I want him to concentrate on that too, and not lose sight there. So, other than, he turned it over on the wall on one of the goals, which he shouldn't do because it's an easier play. When you're a right winger as a left shot and the ability he has with his hands, he should be able to get that puck out for us. He just stumbled around with it and made a mistake there, but also did some good things. Just showed some tape, did some good things too on that wing, and obviously some really good things offensively.
Is there another player who's had similar struggles that you've coached before, that you've taken a similar strategy
Oh
towards?
gosh, I can't. I don't want to name names. Probably 30. I mean, this is part of our job. It's a little bit more. I'll put it to you this way: it's a little bit more focused here because we don't score goals, and those mistakes are just so tough to overcome. So we're trying to make better decisions defensively and be as stingy as we possibly can because we just don't score goals. So it's more highlighted here. But you can ask how many teams we have? 32 now in the league? You can ask the 32 head coaches, and they'll give you 40 or 50 players that they've coached trying to do the same thing, trying to help them defensively.
How much harder is it, though, when, obviously you guys are developing young talent, you guys are trying to get them to play the way they need to play to succeed in the NHL, but how much harder is it to break bad habits when you're working with someone who's a vet, who's 30 years old, who's been in this league for years and has had success?
Very difficult. Very difficult. And, and I say it to you again, he's trying. I don't think he realizes some of the mistakes that he does make because it's just been that way. And that's not a criticism on other coaches that coached him. It just, it's tough to, when you get to that intersection and when a player starts getting bad habits, you don't get them at a young age. It's hard to get them back to that intersection and try to get them to take that left turn instead of right. But I think he's worth it. All the coaches are trying to help him, and I think he's trying to help himself. And we're going to live with some of his mistakes, but keep on trying to help him.
Maybe a little bit similar to that. You talk about how between the veterans making some mistakes and your young guys, do you handle them kind of in the same situation, regardless if a guy's been in the league for 10 years versus the guys who've been in here for maybe 1 or 2?
Meaning how I approach him?
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends. It depends how the player is receiving the message at certain times. We may have to make an adjustment in how we handle them. If there's some stubbornness there or lack of care, which has not happened with this club, it's a hard question to answer because I just go at my stomach and I correct right away. I don't wait for in between periods. I'm going to correct on the bench. I could correct before he even gets off the ice sometimes as he's coming to the bench. It depends on the situation and do you feel the player's listening. Everybody thinks when you're coaching, it's always just leaning on him and barking at him. Probably 80% of the time, that's not the way it is. But it certainly has to be that way if you don't think you're getting the message across by doing it the other way.
You mentioned yesterday that you've been pleased generally with puck possession. However, the team isn't always making plays that are there when they can. How do you go about either making the mindset simpler? Like, how do you attack trying to just turn that around?
Keep on putting them in the situations. It's skill. We're talking about skill, and Rocky's done a lot of work tape-wise and on the ice with some drills as far as working on the skill of our players. So offense is you can manufacture and go through some of your systems to manufacture offense, but when it's a God-given skill, it's kind of up to the player to develop. And we're just going to try to keep putting, especially now with the injuries, we put them in those opportunities and see if they get more comfortable. You look at Frosty. I still think he's up and down like a toilet seat here as far as you see him coming, then he dips. Then you see him coming. Hopefully it levels out and it keeps on going the proper direction because he's supposed to be a skilled guy. You can see it's there, but it's still very inconsistent as when we're playing the game. So keep on putting him in the situations, and and see if they feel more comfortable and loosen up their hands on their stick and just feel confident.